Hello. Something got me thinking today. I was reading something about knowledge and about what do you get when you pass it on and when you don't pass it on. Well, I was thinking about this whole scenario of what knowledge is and what could be the possibilities, what could be the benefits of sharing it or restricting it. It reminded me of a trait or a characteristic that I had in my personality. When I was young, I'm talking about early years of teenage, if I would find something interesting, let's say on the internet, let's say a nice spot, let's say a nice joke, I would try to restrict it. I would try to keep it to myself so that I can use it for my benefit and my benefit only. I would not tell it to my friends because I would think, well, I know this thing and I can present myself or try to be cooler because I know that thing. But if my friends know it, then they're also cool. And, well, then I'm not the only one who's cool. Those were the years of true stupidity, I'm afraid. But it was good. It was good that I had been through that because that makes you think and that makes you consider what you're doing and that makes you grow. So, the very tiny level that I have achieved while studying about knowledge is it's not anybody's property. We shouldn't ever try to restrict anyone from knowledge, or we shouldn't restrict knowledge as in research papers, or as in records or data or information in any way. We shouldn't restrict that information to a certain group or a certain race or a certain demographics or a certain type of people or a certain people with a certain status. I think this is the worst that you can do to humanity in modern terms. I think knowledge is for everyone. I think sharing knowledge can increase it rather than making you look less cool, as happened to me when I was a teenager. I think that any person that attains knowledge over anything owes it to the humanity, to the mankind, the entire universe, to spread that in a way that lets people think about it, lets people benefit from it in any way. It could be your way of having a glass of water in a better way. It could be your way of driving your car better and dodging the traffic better in a way that you're not disturbing the traffic and you're also being at peace. Knowledge could be anything. I mean, there's a lot of people who really think that knowledge is something really serious. Knowledge is like when somebody does a PhD and writes research papers, or knowledge is when National Geographic makes this really intense 5-hour video on something. No, knowledge could be anything. It could be your way of talking better. Why don't you tell it to others? Why don't you tell others how are you benefiting from it? And also, if you cannot tell them how to benefit, also, there might be cases where you have a certain knowledge on a certain topic, even you don't know how to benefit from it. You just know it, right? Just like the jokes I knew back then. What did I do? What did I get out of those jokes, right? Rather, I should have shared those with my friends, and maybe they would have told me what could have I gotten out of it. I think when I'm gonna mention a somewhat of a very mainstream metaphor. When they say sharing is caring, statement, metaphor, I don't know what to call it. It is mainstream, but thinking about it, it's very deep. Sharing is caring. Sometimes you don't really have something to give to the other person. All you can do is share. And I think in the specific subject that we are discussing right now, we are talking about knowledge, well, sharing could be of help, not to one, but to millions. I mean, just go back in time and think when Newton saw that apple fall from the tree and he made his observations and he did this whole research, scientific work, and came out with these results, fascinating results that is changing humanity, that changed humanity and is still changing, that is giving you a lot of results, that is just promoting the mankind itself through time, and it is going to promote as long as we can see it. Just go back in time and just imagine if Newton had kept all this to himself, you would not know about gravity. Talking in the bigger way, you would not be able to shoot a rocket into space because you don't know about gravity. And talking in the lower ways, you will not be able to set an elevator in a building because you don't know about gravity. Food for thought. I think everybody should think about it. And I think all of us, whatever knowledge we have, small, large level, any scale, anything, just share it. Of course, I'm not suggesting that if you have some sensitive knowledge about things that, for example, kids doesn't have a clearance to, you shouldn't share it with the kids, of course. Be educated while doing that. But what I'm trying to establish here, the point that I'm trying to establish here is give knowledge wings, because knowledge is not yours. It's not mine. It's nobody's property. You cannot patent it. You cannot get royalties on your knowledge. Knowledge is what pushes the collective thought level of mankind further. And you as a human is no one and has no rights to restrict that. You are not the representative of the entire mankind. You are, but you don't represent the entire mankind. You don't have to decide for the entire mankind. Whatever you have, share it. Let them benefit from it. Maybe, probably, it's gonna come back. Think.